I can't even see that far.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Falcon Live Chat. We're really excited to share with you all some information today about our residential center and living on campus and other ways to get involved. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Stephanie Cohen, and I'm working with the Central Staff for Orientation. I'm really excited to be here this morning with a few of my colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ratha Kong. I work in student programs and engagement. I'll talk a little bit more in this presentation about what I do and what we offer.
And good morning, everyone. My name is Antonio Willis-Berry, and I'm the Assistant Director of Housing Operations within the Residential Center.
So as I mentioned, we're going to go through some information regarding living on campus and ways to get involved, and then we'll wrap up our conversation this morning with an opportunity for you all to ask us some questions. So if you have any questions, you'll be able to type them into the chat box at the end, and we'll go through all of them and get back to you as soon as we can. We are also recording this presentation this morning, so if you'd like, you'll be able to go back and view it at a later time. We're also going to just ask that folks, when you do join us, make sure that you mute your mics so that we don't pick up any of the background noise that you may have as you're viewing us at home or from wherever you are. So without further ado, I'm going to let my colleague Antonio chat with you a little bit about living on campus.
Thanks, Deb. So the Residential Center is an office or community here at Bentley that really strives on making Bentley your home away from home. And so what we talk a lot about with students is that we're creating a safe, civil, and inclusive environment for all students, and that we're developing our communities to have a purpose and to be open and just. And what I mean by that is that we are paying attention to you 365 days out of the year, 24, not really 24 hours a day, but we're paying really close attention to you. And we like to even boast to a lot of parents and students that every student who lives on campus will have at least one intentional interaction or intentional conversation with the staff member while they're here. And so that could be your RA, that could be a resident director, and I'll talk a little bit more about those two a little bit later on, but we are really intentional in that. And so what I'm going to do for you is chat a little bit more about our residential center and where we're going and what it looks like to live on campus here. So our office is located in Student Center in Suite 320 to be exact. And like I said, housing is available 365 days out of the year, and application is required. So we ask students to sort of sign up for those peak hours and those peak times that are not really the full academic year. And so that could be the summertime, it could be over Thanksgiving, it could be over winter break, but housing is available to you all throughout the year. Our office is open from 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays during the academic year, and there's always an administrator on duty or an AOD who's available for emergencies when our office is closed. Don't forget to visit our website for a list of what things you should be bringing and what things you should probably leave at home. As you know, you're going to be entering in the spring semester, and so we are currently mostly occupied at this time. However, when you enter in, our hope is to sort of put you with someone who's also brand new just like you are, but in most cases that might not be possible. So we ask you to take a look at our website just to see what things are there and what you should be bringing or what you should be communicating with your potential roommate about. And your roommate might say they already have a refrigerator, so make sure you leave your own at home, because having two in a residence hall in your room might just be a little bit cramped. So make sure you're communicating and talking with your roommate before you get to Bentley. So move-in for first-year students is going to occur on January 11th, starting at 9 a.m. And then our transfers will move in, and exchange students will move in the next day, Friday, January 12th. So make sure you stop by the Student Center beginning at 8:45 to pick up your room combination, to get your student ID, because you'll need those things in order to access your individual residence hall and then your individual room within your hall. There we are. I keep pressing the wrong button. That's what I keep wrong. And I went backwards. There we are. So like I said earlier, within the residence halls are two very important individuals that you'll probably need to get to know as soon as you arrive on campus. So one of those people is your resident assistant. They're going to stop by your room to say hello. And they are upper class students who live within each community, and there's at least one RA on each hall or within each community. RAs are going to explain and enforce policies and procedures. They'll facilitate programs. They'll be building on community, mediating conflict, assisting residents as needed, and really serve as a resource for you and all the students within the building. RAs are on duty in the residence halls from 7:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock a.m., and they can be found either in the RA office or by calling the duty phone. The number is posted throughout the building, so it's kind of hard to not miss that number. Your RDs are professional staff members who oversee the day-to-day operations of those individual buildings that you'll be living in, and then they supervise the RAs. RDs are there to support you, they're there to guide you, they're responding to crises, they're maintaining the physical integrity of the building, and then after hours, they are the people who are serving in that administrator on duty rotation. So they're available for you all throughout the day. So don't hesitate to call them or stop by their office with any questions that you might have. For our first year students, when you move in, you're going to be placed into 3 different residence halls. So that's either Slade Hall, which houses about 250 students. You might be placed in Miller Hall, which also houses about 250 of the first year class, and then the Trees Complex, which has a little bit more than 500 students. I always get asked the question, which one of them are the best of the 3? And in my eyes and in my opinion, and I've been here for a while, so I can honestly say this, they all have their own individual unique qualities and unique characteristics. I think some are quieter than others. I think more a little bit lively than others. I think when you put 500 students in a building with 250 nearby, it's going to create a little chaos. And I think that's fun and exciting. And so I love all 3 of them. I don't think one is better than the other. I just think they all are different and unique. For our transfer students and our exchange students, when you arrive, you're going to be placed either within a suite or an apartment. And while I don't have those photos showing right now, most of our suites are have a common room and a shared bathroom, which you'll share with other residents. And then the apartments has the exact same thing, except they have a full kitchen. So make sure you look out for an email from our office letting you know which setup you're in and which style you're in. But at this point, you all should have sort of filled out an application through our Housing Student Self-Service. And if you have not, please make sure you email ga_housing@bentley.edu to get more information about how to sign up for housing for next semester. The last few things I'm going to talk about is our RHA and our hall councils. So RHA stands for Residence Hall Association, and that's really residents who are connecting and talking about issues from legislation, policy development, and even programming throughout campus for all the residential students. And so that's the sort of larger level organization. On a more micro level are our hall councils. And so each building / community has their own hall council. So there are 8 of them to match the 8 communities that we've sort of divided students up into. Hall councils sort of represent and connect with students who live in their particular residence hall, and then they are the ones who are programming for that hall and doing sort of the student-to-student interaction that the RAs aren't doing at that time. You'll receive more information really about elections and how you can get involved during the first few weeks of class. And I promise you that you can still get involved with RHA and hall councils, even coming in as a new first-year student or a new transfer or exchange student. We're looking for everyone. So make sure you reach out to your RD or wait until you get an email from them saying we want you to be a part of this organization. So last but not least, don't forget to follow us on social media. We have an Instagram page, which I think is more active than our Facebook and Twitter page, just based on what we know students like versus what they don't pay attention to. So make sure you follow us. And then if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out through those platforms or by emailing us. But as a reminder, you will find out your housing placement on January 4th, and I'll make sure to get that out to you by the end of the day. So look out for that email. But that's all. That's Residential Center.
And now we're going to move on to speaking about how to get involved on campus. So I'll let Rafa share a little bit more about student programs and engagement.
Awesome. So along with living on campus, it's really important when you're on campus to get involved. And there are so many different avenues for you to be able to do that. And I can talk a little bit about each different thing that you can shop around for to get involved. But first, I'll talk about the Student Center. The Student Center is really the hub of campus. You'll see organizations putting on programs and events in the Student Center. This is where you'll be eating at 921. You'll have areas for lounging, just to hang out with friends, or even just to do group work, because we have breakout rooms in the building in order for you to be able to study and do academics, but also, enjoy your time here. But it's really open through pretty much from really early in the morning until like 3 in the morning. So it's really like closed for only 5 hours out of a day. It's really insane. So there's always going to be space available for you to be able to hang out. So the main pieces of places that you see a lot of people hanging out in is Harry's Pub, which is really cool. So if you're 21 plus, or even if you're a first-year students coming in, there is really no age requirement to get in. If you want to drink, you'll get a wristband you'll get ID and wristband. But we always have weekly trivia nights. They do open mic nights. They do dance parties, karaoke, and then you'll see a lot of organizations actually book space to do programming in there too. So whenever you walk by at night, you'll probably see something happening. happening, and it's really cool because it's everything that we do is really open to the community, unless like an office books it. But normally it's really made for students to be able to use. The living room is really a cool space because it's really like a living room. It's an open space. There's multiple points of entry to go into the space, and there's ping pong, there's pool. Within the living room, there's study spaces that are blocked off, so you can be studying but seeing outside, like the glass doors, people hanging out and playing pool and ping pong. So you're like in it to study, but you're also seeing like what's happening and what's lively around. They also do programming there frequently, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then the patio and fireplace is really cool because we actually do have our own fireplace within the living room, but also a patio with a fire pit. So you'll see that we utilize the space a lot for the winters. Like, so if you ever went, I don't know, a ski resort, you'll see like an open fire outside, very similar concept. In February, we do this thing called Winterfest, and we utilize that for string lights. It's really fun. Make sure you check it out. But really, there's a lot to do in the student center, multiple facets of places to gather. The cultural lounge is within the third floor of the student center, and it's really open for anybody to come in and really gather cultural exchanges, ideas, basically learning from other people and building community. That place is never locked. We also have the business center where you can actually go in and print out papers that you need. You can do fax service. If you're a student organization, you have your mail. You can check for your mail there. It's really like the home base of like what you would think of like as a business center for student organizations, but also for students to be able to use. The bubble is really the gathering place for student organizations. A lot of folks have their weekly meetings there, but you also see a lot of folks just in the, there's like breakout rooms, and there's also just one huge long, like almost like library style seating space where you can just go in and study if you want to. So it's really available for whatever your intention is with that. And then there's also student affairs offices within the student center, which is really cool because it's almost like a one-stop shop for you. So there's the Center for International Students and Services, Students and Scholars, the Multicultural Center, the Residential Center, the Office of Deans and Students, Student Affairs, and then Spiritual Life, and then our office also, Student Programs and Engagement. Okay, so I talked a little bit earlier about programming in Harry's Pub in the living room. So there's a unique set of student employees that work for my office. They're called Today and Tonight, and they really put on programs from Wednesday to Sunday. So pretty much, besides Monday and Tuesday, pretty much every day there's something happening, whether it's in Harry's Pub, whether it's in the living room. They always do monthly bingo, so go there, check it out. If you don't want to participate if you don't know what to do on a Saturday night, mostly there's going to be something happening in the living room. So make sure you check it out. But their programs are really cool. They do outside events like the block parties, rock climbing. They do acoustic performers from outside. They do student performers. So you get a little taste of like big and small with them. The Arts at Bentley is something that our office also runs in student programs and engagement. We bring in artists all the time. We do paint nights. We do off-campus trips, Broadway shows. So really it's to give you an experience of the arts at a business institution, which we feel like is really important. Things that we've done this semester is photography classes. We did the Nutcracker. We went to Fun Home. It's really cool. Make sure you check it out. And a lot of these programs are really either free or really cheap. It's really like $5 for a meal, a trip into Boston, and a show. So make sure you look out for all our flyers. Switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about student organizations. We have over 114 student organizations ranging from academic organizations, athletic, campus arts and media, class cabinets, cultural, fraternity and sorority life. The list goes on. And really, it's really to be able to give so many different options for the variety of interests that students have coming in. And I can talk a little bit about Activity Sphere, which mark this on your calendar. It's going to be January the 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. But you'll see flyers everywhere, so you really won't be able to miss it. And it's in the student center, so you really won't miss it at all. And the really cool thing about our office is that we're always taking new interests and ideas. So if you have an idea for a new organization that we don't already have, we'll work with you. We'll talk through it. And if we've already recognized like 4 organizations this semester, it continues to grow. So it's just limitless what you can do here. And then also, just to put a plug in there, freshman class cabinet positions, you can get involved right away. Currently, as it stands, we usually do freshman class cabinet positions in the fall semester so that you have your board in place to plan the semester, the year's events. But they're always looking for folks to like get involved, to be engaged, to go to their events. And this is where you're going to be hanging out with, you know, the rest of your class and building that network and that community. Switching gears a little bit, fraternity and sorority life. So as it stands, we have 11 Greek organizations, 8 fraternities, and 3 sororities. Our Greek community is amazing. They do so much good work, community building, service, philanthropy, programming. They donate so much money. They're always in the lead for fundraising in Relay for Life every year that we do it in the spring. And then we're also adding a 4th sorority because of like the growing need and interest in the community. So make sure you check them out at Activities Fair, but also all the good events that they're going to be having. There's going to be information session in the beginning, probably the first week. So look out. Okay, switching gears a little bit more, commuter life. So really, for us on campus, whether you live on campus or you live off campus, we want to make sure that you feel supported, you have that connection. So we do have a commuter association here where you can network and you can also hang out with your fellow commuter students. But any of the offerings that we have in our office is really open to anybody, whether you're a residential or a commuter student. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our office definitely supports commuter students. And then lastly, I want to talk a little bit about our social media. All the things that I really talked about, we have our own, like, basically our, like, Bentley website for student programs and engagement. If you go into bentleyspeak.com, you can see pretty much like a glimpse of what student life is like at Bentley, and it's really awesome. But you can also follow our Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Bentley_SPNE. But yeah.
And before we wrap up today, we just want to share a little bit about some other ways to get involved and really show your pride for Bentley University. So at Bentley, we are a Division II institution. We have 20 Division II varsity athletic teams, and we compete in the Northeast 10. So we've listed all of them for you below. But we also are unique in the sense that we have a Division I hockey team that plays in the Atlantic Hockey League. And we're really, really fortunate that this year, and a very exciting time for you all, is that we're opening up our multi-purpose arena in the winter of 2018. So you're really fortunate to be joining the institution at this time where we have a lot of excitement over the opening of this new arena. Student programs and engagement and other offices on campus will be able to use this space for really great programs, concerts and speakers, but it will also be the home base for our Division I hockey team. So we're really, really excited about that and excited that you'll be able to share that exciting time with us this winter. Different traditions that we have here at Bentley, a few of these are things that we do in the fall, so they happen this past semester, but you'll be able to look forward to them in the future. So the first one is our homecoming celebration. Homecoming is a really great time for our alums to come back on campus, and a really great networking opportunity for you all to meet some past Falcons and network with them. We have some really exciting events on campus, such as a football game and different tailgates. There's a lot of great food and different ways to get involved and meet other people that may have been involved in student clubs and organizations that you're currently involved in. In addition to that, we also have our tailgates at every home football game. So you're welcome as a student to come down to Lower Green Space 2 hours prior to every home football game. We provide for you grills and grill utensils and charcoal, and all you have to bring are whatever it is that you'd like to cook on the grill. We also provide a student DJ and lawn games, so you can really enjoy the entire atmosphere and hang out with your friends before heading over to a home football game. This year we had our first annual roast, which was a really, really fun opportunity for students to come together and celebrate the fall and football season. And this year, this event happened on the same day as our fall concert, which was really, really fun for Hall weekend. So we had a lot of great food, t-shirts, lawn games, again, student DJs, we had some fire pits. It was just a really fun time for students to come together and again, celebrate the fall and celebrate our football team. And then another an annual event that we have is our Midnight Madness program. Here at Bentley, we have a really long-standing tradition of some really great basketball teams. Our men and women's basketball teams have really strong records and they're doing really well so far this year. there. So every fall we get together to celebrate both teams in our Midnight Madness program. There's lots of different competitions, prizes, t-shirts, great food, and most importantly, you get to meet the men and women on our basketball teams and different performers on campus. So our dance teams, our cheer teams, we have some really great singers on campus with our a cappella group, and all these groups come together to really just celebrate Bentley and spirit at Bentley. And so what you can look forward to is coming to all of our basketball games this spring as they continue out the season. So different ways that you can get involved and be a really good fan here on campus is you can become a member of our new student group, the Falcon Fanatics. So this is Bentley's official superfan group, and you can join the Falcon Fanatics at all home events to cheer on their teams. It's a really fun, energetic group that's passionate about Bentley and about being spirited here at Bentley. You'll see them at every game, and you can look out for them to get involved. Another way that you can get involved and show your spirit is by downloading the Fiercest Falcon app, and this is a free app that all students can download on the App Store, I believe on all smartphones. So you can just look it up, Fiercest Falcon, and what you can do is you download the app and you check in at home games. You earn points by checking in and checking out at games, and when you earn points, you're basically earning your way towards different prizes and Bentley's swag, so different free swag that you can get to really be showcasing your spirit for Bentley. And one more thing that I do want to mention for you all is that we do have a pep band here on campus, our Falcon Pep Band, and they perform at all of our home football games, most of our home basketball games, and all of our home hockey games. And they are the official band of Bentley Athletics. They are a really great and fun group. So if you were a member of your pep band or marching band in high school and it's something that you're looking to continue on in your Bentley experience, please look out for more information in the last newsletter, and then also when you arrive on campus on how to join the pep band here at Bentley. So that is the last of the information we're going to share with you all today, but we did want to leave some time for you to ask some questions, either based on some of the information that we shared or just anything that you've been wondering prior to your arrival here at Bentley. So we're going to open the floor for questions now. So I'm just going to move this closer so we can hear what you all are saying. Do you have to pay to attend any sport games like football, hockey, or basketball? So currently our football and basketball games are free to all students. With the new arena opening, and because we do have a Division I sports team, there will be a fee associated with the tickets, which hasn't been announced yet to students, but that will be announced. There will be a student discount though, and the fee will be minimal, and there will be the opportunity in the future to be able to buy seasons tickets, so at a really great price. Great question. Any other questions for us? How do I find out about TNT events like bingo and karaoke? Rafa, do you want to answer?
Sure. So what we do, so in the Student Center, you'll see actually we have a bulletin board right in front of the pub, Harry's Pub, with pretty much a list of events that's happening every week. We also go around and put flyers up in the residence halls, the academic buildings, and you'll always see it on social media. So there's different avenues for you to be able to access information that's coming up. And you can also sign up for almost like a listserv for weekly emails from the TNT account to like let you know like what's happening. And that's also the best way to find out, because sometimes like a paint night is only 30 spots, so you probably want to be the first one to know about it so that you can sign up. So I would recommend getting on the listserv, and they're also going to be at the activities fair on the 19th, so you'll see them there.
And then we have another question about what are the main places to eat on campus?
That is a great question. So obviously in the Student Center, there's a 921, which is our main dining residential hall. And that has really a buffet of almost everything that you'd want. There's a salad bar, there's a pizza bar, there's a pasta bar, there's a sandwich deli option. There is obviously the dessert bar, which is one of my favorites, along with the ice cream machine, which is also just as great. But then there's also sort of entrees that they create every day, and they're different per day. There's a simple servings section as well that is really nut-free, gluten-free, soy-free, shellfish-free, and the other 8. The other 4, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but are really for people who have sort of allergies, so that's where they eat. And then there's a My Zone part of the 921 too for students who are allergic to gluten with celiac, for them to be able to eat food that is not cross-contaminated or contaminated with gluten, so that's another option for those students. Another really popular place, I would say, actually, I'll give you 2 more. One of them, 3 more maybe. One of them is where a lot of students go, which is in the library, and that's Einstein's Cafe, which is really a coffee, bagel, biscuit, bread shop for students really just go grab coffee before classes. So a lot of students will go there. In La Cava Center, which is really our campus center, which is very different than the student center, but it's the campus center. And our lower level is what we call the lower CAF, and that's another place that has multiple options for students. So another salad bar, a grill, and that's an a la carte dining option. So a lot of students stop by there. And the last place is on our lower campus, which is near our athletic facility, and that's Corrido/The Nest. And so Corrido is really a Mexican-themed option for students. And so you can get a burrito bowl, you can get a burrito, you can get a salad, or a burrito salad, or salad as a burrito, or something similar. The students also love their smoothies, and I'm not 100% sure why, but they are great. And so that's another option. And the last one is that in the morning, also down near Corrido, is this place called The Nest, and that's really a breakfast option. So they have breakfast sandwiches. There's oatmeal, there's pancakes. So I highly recommend that. But I would say that those are really the popular places, which I probably named mostly all of them. But there's a few more. But that's also on our website, and I highly recommend stopping by and taking a look. There's also a Dunkin' Donuts on campus. I always forget about that, but I know a lot of students also really enjoy, and that's in the center of our campus, in Collins Hall, which also is where the post office is. So you have no choice but to see the Dunkin' Donuts when you're on campus. That's it.
And then we have a question about what is the club and organization fair, and what should I expect to find there?
That's a really good question. So at the beginning of every semester, we want to give incoming students the opportunity to meet our organization. Because there's 114 of them, it's going to take you a while to get through each one if you visit each of their meetings. So we actually have all the organizations in one place for you, almost like a fair, pretty much a student activities fair. It's going to be, for the winter, it's usually in the student center, and they're spread out everywhere. So we have tables lining up pretty much all of the student center, first, second, third floor. It's really a good time for you to really shop around for what organizations that you think you want to get involved in. So if you look at our list, it's 114, and some of them aren't really obvious to what they represent unless you go and do your research. But here's a place where you can actually just stop by, go to their table, ask questions, and then they can tell you more about their organization, what they do on the regular. If they go on off-campus trips, we have Bear Outdoor Club, which goes, they go hike a mountain, or they go camping. So the really cool, fun things, but you wouldn't know that it was just Bear. You know what I mean? So it's really good for you to be able to just do a one-stop 2-hour event, check out all the really cool organizations that are offered, and then get their information. They'll email you, and there's food and there's giveaways. So it's a really cool time to socialize too. Even if you don't want to join, at least you can put yourself out there to meet new people.
So a question about student government. Is there something like that at Bentley?
Yes. So our office, the way that student government works here, there's a funding board, which is called the Allocation for Internal Audit Committee. There's our Association for Bentley Activities, which recognizes new student organizations. So if you want to start a new org, you'll go through them. And then there's also SGA, Student Government Association. So there's 3 different governing orgs that you can actually join or run for. How it works is elections normally happen at the end of spring. So it's really cool because you'll have the opportunity to kind of go through a semester when you first come on campus. And then at the end of spring semester, the applications for all 3 boards will go out. And you can actually, anybody can really run. Some of them have criteria. So obviously you can't be president of SGA as a first-year student. You kind of have to get on the board for a little bit because then it's just, you kind of have to be able to navigate your campus and know a little bit about the functioning internally of SGA before you can run, similar to the chair positions of ABA and in AIA. So there's definitely opportunity for you to get involved, and I would recommend highly, no bias aside, I'm also an advisor for AIA, so I would say get involved and look out for the applications. And if you're ever wondering hey, I want to know more, stop by our office, or even just send us an email. All the information is really on our blog, Bentley SPE, and then you can contact us
I have a car freshman year.
Yeah. So that's a tricky question. So our answer typically is no, first-year students cannot have cars. However, you can appeal through our university police if you feel that there's an extenuating circumstance which requires for you to have a car, and you have to present sort of paperwork and documentation that sort of backs up that circumstance. And so for some students it is I have a full-time job and I'm also balancing school at the same time, so I would need to get back and forth to work. That's one of the reasons why we might allow for you to have a car on campus. I think if you're going back and forth to a doctor for medical reasons, that's another reason why you might have a car as a first-year student. But I usually stick to the no, but you can appeal process. But that's it, yeah. But then once you become a sophomore, or even as a transfer student, you can have up to one car on campus, and those fees are through university policing. So you register your car through university police. So make sure you bring your registration with you to campus if you plan on having a car as a transfer student, or when you move into your sophomore, junior, senior year. And exchange students too, I forget about. Yes.
Are there ways to get into Boston from campus?
Sure, I'll take it. Yeah, sir. We have many ways to get to Boston from campus. We are very close to Boston. We're really lucky about that, to have our own campus out here in Waltham, but to be so close to such a major city. So on campus, we do have a shuttle, and the shuttle runs around campus, does the campus loop, but then it also goes to Harvard Square. So if you take the shuttle, which is free to all students, you just have to show your Bentley ID. You can go right into Harvard Square, and then from there, you're able to access all of the Boston public transportation. So Boston is really great, and they have the T. So if you aren't familiar with the area, you can just go and you can get a day pass or a Charlie card that you can add money onto, and it's relatively inexpensive. I don't know the current rate, but you can purchase that right at the station, and you can ride the T all throughout Boston in other areas. And it comes, the T is great because it runs consistently, so it's not like you have to make a specific time. The other option too, within the area, there are commuter rails too, and then buses as well, but the campus shuttle is your best bet. I think we have time for one more question. If I'm not on a varsity team at Bentley, are there other ways to stay active on campus? Yeah, definitely. So in our Dana Center on Lower Campus, we have our fitness center. So that's open again to all students. You just need your Bentley ID. There are specific hours that the gym is open, but I believe it opens pretty early in the morning and stays open at night. Students here at Bentley are pretty active, so they like to be able to get in there and take advantage of the cardio equipment that's in there and the weightlifting as well. Our varsity athletic teams do use those facilities, but they also have separate areas to work out so that our students can utilize that as well. We also have a track on campus, so if you want to run on the track, that's open obviously whenever you want to run on it, down on Lower Campus, right around our soccer fields. In addition to that, we also have intramural sports that you can sign up for with your friends. So a lot of our students, even the clubs and orgs, I know a lot of them have different teams and they get involved and they do the intramural sports. And then we also have club sports here at Bentley, which are run through student programs and engagement. So if you are very active in high school on a sports team and you want to continue that in college, but not necessarily on the varsity level, you can still participate with the intramural sports or on the club sports teams. And many of our club sports teams actually travel. Our women's rugby team actually just went to a competition, the national competition, and they came in second in the country for women's rugby club sports team. So that's pretty exciting and something that we're really proud of here. But there's definitely many ways to get involved and stay active in your own way here on campus, even if you're not on a varsity team. Definitely check that out. I think that's all the time we have today for questions, but we just want to thank you all again for joining us this morning and participating and asking us some questions. They were really great, and we hope we were hopefully able to answer all of them for you. If you do have any more questions at all about specifically residential life or student programs and engagement, please feel free to reach out there and follow, again, those different social media pages. One plug for orientation, please go on and follow our social media at Welcome Falcons on Instagram as well as Snapchat. We will be posting, if you haven't been following us already, we've posted our entire January orientation team, so you can go on there and look back and meet all of our team members, as well as some exciting competitions coming up that you can enter for some prizes during January orientation. Make sure you're checking out our newsletters, and if you have any questions specifically or general questions, you can also email ga_orientation@bentley.edu. And thank you so much. We hope you all have a great day.